This week on Life in the Park, our city is awarded for being a pioneering bee-friendly city. Park High honors Hall of Famers, former city firefighters reminisce, and more news you can use.
Welcome to this week's edition of Life in the Park. I'm Scott Smith. In our cover story, Park TV's Reg Dunlap caught up with some of our fire department's former firefighters at the 100-year celebration kickoff event at Oak Hill Park. That's coming up. But first, here's news you can use. City Council approved the Southwest LRT municipal consent for the Green Line extension at its meeting September 21st. Municipal consent for the Southwest Light Rail Transit project is required by each city along the proposed line. The Southwest LRT project is currently in the project development phase of the Federal Transit Administration's New Starts funding process. All 5 cities along the proposed alignment and Hennepin County have now approved preliminary design plans for Southwest LRT. The next phase is engineering, which is scheduled to begin in 2015. Heavy construction is scheduled to take place between 2017 and 2019. The project will begin passenger service as an extension of the Metro Green Line in 2020. The total estimated project cost of $1.77 billion will be funded through a mix of federal, state, and local sources, with federal funds making up approximately half the total. September 13th, the city of St. Louis Park received an award for being a pioneering bee-friendly pollinator city in Minnesota. This award was a public acknowledgement of the good work and support of St. Louis Park in passing a resolution to implement pollinator-friendly practices. The award was received by Natural Resources Coordinator Jim Vaughn at the Pollination event held in Stillwater. The celebration was sponsored by the Pollinator Friendly Alliance. 5 cities, St. Louis Park, Shorewood, Minneapolis, and Stillwater, and Lake Elmo, were awarded for their pollinator-friendly ordinances. The general election for St. Louis Park Mayor, 2 council members, and 4 school board seats takes place November 3rd, and absentee voting is now available at City Hall. Details are available on the city website, stlouispark.org. Click on the Elections tab. Hey, the annual Fall Cleanup Day will be held from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, September 26th at the St. Louis Park Municipal Service Center. That's at 7305 Oxford Street. Go to the city website, stlouispark.org, for a list of items that are accepted. The St. Louis Park Emergency Program is collecting clean, warm winter coats and accessories in September to provide for our St. Louis Park neighbors in need. STEP is located at 6812 West Lake Street, and for additional information, please call Allison at 952-925-4899, extension 11, or email allison@step.org. Fair for All, the cooperative food purchasing program that sells groceries at discounted prices and is open to everyone, is on Tuesday, September 29th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Central Community Center, located at 6300 Walker Street. There is no pre-registration and many forms of payment are accepted. For more information and future Fair for All distribution dates, visit fairforall.org. The St. Louis Park Police Department announced their first Coffee with a Cop on Thursday, October 1st from 9 to 11 a.m. at the McDonald's on Lake Street. This is an opportunity for community members to speak with officers who patrol your city while enjoying a hot cup of coffee, courtesy of McDonald's. The officers look forward to seeing you there. The 2015 St. Louis Park High School Athletic Hall of Fame induction was held at the Golden Valley Country Club September 17th. Fox 9 News anchor Jeff Passolt led the induction of 10 new honorees, as well as the 1998 Girls Minnesota State Track and Field Championship team and the 1963 Boys Minnesota State Track and Field Championship team as the 2015 Teams of Distinction. Oriole Lifetime Achievement Awards were presented to Ira Gerwitz and to family members of Richard Wainio. Park TV 16 on location was there.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the 2015 Class Athletic Hall of Fame honorees. Come on in. Sing loud, let's hear it.
To begin the 2015 induction ceremony, the St. Louis Park Athletic Hall of Fame Committee would like to recognize the contributions of 2 individuals to St. Louis Park Athletics and present them with the Lifetime Achievement Award for their contribution. contributions. The first recipient to be recognized is Ira Gerwitz. Over the past 40 years, it's hard to imagine anyone who has coached more athletes in St. Louis Park schools and recreation programs than Ira. It is for these contributions that Ira is receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award from the St. Louis Park High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Ira graduated from Park in 1969, but through his tireless efforts over the years, Ira is a deserving recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award for all his contributions to St. Louis Park. Let's hear it for Ira.
Congratulations to this year's new inductees. Park TV is looking for an on-location sports production and media promotion intern to provide production and operation assistance for the city's Park TV channels. You will operate cameras for Park TV on-location productions and assist with Park TV media promotion. This is an unpaid internship opportunity, working 15 to 20 hours per week. Work schedule will vary, including day and evening hours. Apply today at slpmn.us/jobs. Patients at local hospitals rely on Memorial Blood Centers to be there with the right blood type they need. But blood doesn't last forever. Donated red cells only last 42 days, and that's why we need your help. You can donate at the City of St. Louis Park Blood Drive Friday, October 2nd at City Hall, 5005 Minnetonka Boulevard from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. Look for the Bloodmobile in the parking lot, or you can schedule an appointment by calling 952-924-2528. All blood types are needed. Did you know that 1 in 4 adults experience a diagnosable mental disorder in a given year? With mental health being Health in the Park's focus this year, they're challenging St. Louis Park to take the pledge to make it okay to talk about mental illnesses. Mental Illness Awareness Week is October 4th through the 11th, and on October 5th, Mayor Jeff Jacobs will be taking the pledge. Will you do your part to erase the stigma surrounding mental illness? Visit makeitokay.org and take the pledge to make it okay. Stay up to date with Health in the Park by liking their page Health in the Park on Facebook and following them on Twitter at HIPSLP. And now to our cover story. The St. Louis Park Fire Department is celebrating their 100-year anniversary and kicked off their year-long celebration earlier this month. Park TV's Reg Dunlap caught up with a few former firefighters who served in St. Louis Park.
When I started, there really wasn't any training. You showed up at work and they put you in the gear as somebody who'd retired earlier and said, we hired you, they told me, because you fit in Vern Anderson's gear and we didn't want to have to buy new gear, so we thought you'd fit in it. So, okay, there's the truck. And I says, well, what do I do? I says, well, when the tones go off, get on the truck. And then you puppy dog the captain for X number or 6 months or whatever it is and learn the trade of being a firefighter.
The day I started, I only had a short coat and short boots. The day I started on a Sunday. I had to bring my own gear in that day because I didn't have any. I really didn't get any for about 6 months before I really got gear that I wasn't borrowing from someone else. So
they were all open cabs, so in the wintertime, of course, it was awful cold. I used to ride in the back and pull the tarp over the hose over our heads so we'd stay warm. And then as time went on, of course, we ended up getting the first enclosed cab from Laverne, Minnesota. And from then on, all the engines now are all fully enclosed, so you don't have to ride outside anymore. So
by the time you get there, you're not frozen.
By the time you get there, you're not frozen. You're frozen on the way back from being wet. So
my boots were too big for my feet. And I had a hand-me-down rubber coat. Back then they had rubber coats. It was an old volunteer rubber coat that they had back then, along with a helmet. So things have really changed from then till now.
And back then we had the old Mack fire truck. Now the Mack fire truck, it was actually a ladder truck. It just had one seat, open. There's no canopy or nothing, so you're right out in the open. So we had 3 guys that showed up to sit in the front seat. Ray Boebert, Bob Baumgren, and I believe Marlo North. And they sat in the front, and me and another firefighter, we had to get to the fire too, so I stood on the sideboard, held onto the chrome, which gave the expression chrome hanger, and I went from Northside's fire station down to the Fuchu Fire down on Excelsior Boulevard in 10 degrees below zero. And when I got there, I was looking forward. I hope it's still burning so I can warm up a little bit.
I started working for St. Louis Park Fire back in 1996. I was back then thinking about taking a CPR class, and the city newsletter mentioned that they were hiring paid-on-call firefighters, and part of it included CPR training. Well, I signed up, and the rest is history. I've been in the business now for 19 years. I've been involved with both the Hennepin County Fire Investigation Team and Anoka County Fire Investigation Team, and doing building, fire inspections. And
well, I want to congratulate the fire department now. They're a good department. St. Louis Park has always been recognized as one of the better fire departments in the state, next to Minneapolis and St. Paul, even though we're an awful small department. So I hope they continue to do good, and I hope they are safe and keep the city safe.
I saw an extreme amount of changes, but I met some incredible people, great friendships that still continue on, and I hope that for the next 100 years the same thing happens.
Guys and gals, keep the tradition going. We've got a great department here, and we want to keep up the utmost professionalism that we all know and expect from you.
I think this is a great department, and the city of St. Louis Park should be proud of their fire department and what they do for them today.
We are proud of and thankful for the men and women who serve and have served our community over the years. Remember, you can keep up to date in the park by visiting our Facebook page at facebook.com/St. Louis Park, or check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/St. Louis Park. So that's it for this week's edition of Life in the Park. Thanks for watching. Join us next week for another edition of Life in the Park right here on Park TV.
We got a call for an elderly lady with a possible broken hip. So we got to her apartment, and she was sitting in a chair, and her left leg, her foot was rotated out at about a 90-degree angle. And she had on a typical white and yellow dress like an 80-some-year-old lady would be wearing, and she was sitting in a chair, so John asked me to assess her. So I got down in front and I said, Edna, I'm going to start palpating your leg, feeling your leg. And so I started very low on her leg, obviously to respect her and that. And I was watching her as I was moving up the leg, and I got above the knee, and now I'm underneath her dress. And I got up about mid-thigh, and I said, there was no change in her face. And I said, Edna, does that hurt? And she lowered her head a little bit, looked at me with a little smile, and she says, actually, that feels pretty good. Well, of course, that spread through the city like wildfire, and I was getting calls, and public works guys were stopping in, the police were stopping in, and accusing me of hitting on this 80-some-year-old lady. So Edna did have a broken hip. The medics did arrive and transported her. But yeah, that's what you could kind of chuckle about.
Hello, I'm Jim Lombardi, Recreation Supervisor with your Rec Update. If you're looking for something for the kids to do during the MEA weekend, send them to Brookview in Golden Valley for our Kids Go Golfing class. Here they will learn tips from a golf pro and an opportunity to get on the golf course and play 9 holes. As it gets colder, it'll be time to move inside. We are offering adult volleyball and basketball leagues as well. Volleyball leagues will start in mid-October, and basketball leagues will start at the end of November. To receive a registration form or for more information on any of these activities, you can call the Rec Center at 952-924-2540 or visit our website at stlouispark.org. So stay active in the park this fall.